The Nord Stream pipelines coming under scrutiny. Many people talking about sabotage. Did somebody take these pipelines out? It's starting to look like that. Europe saying that these were attacks, and these are attacks on the Russian gas pipelines. We'll take a look at what is going on here. But first, here is the helicopter footage of one of the leaks that was bubbling up from this pipeline that runs underneath the ocean. It was zooming around and sort of following this, and you can see this little disturbance on the top of the ocean there. He zooms in, and you see a disturbance at the surface. That's the gas coming out of the pipeline underneath the ocean, bubbling up, right, causing this difference in discoloration there on the surface of the ocean. And as they zoom in a little bit, you can see, right, it's actually frothy and it's bubbling all over the place. It looks like a pretty serious leak, like not like it's just a pinhole leak. It looks like a pipe was open and you have this froth. In fact, there's two separate bubbles here, like two separate geysers. There's one here and there's one over here that are bubbling up there in the ocean. Let's see. As we zoom out, you can see what it looks like, right? So that's a lot of release into that body of water. And that was taken by, I believe, a military helicopter that was circling in the area. Here is, hold on a second. Let's get this one up. Also, more photographs of the burst pipeline seen here. Here are some close-ups in color, not on military video, but you can see this is what it looks like just from the air. And we've got a couple other photographs of some planes and helicopters that are flying over the surface. And it looks significant, right? I mean, that's a pretty serious leak there. So now that that is happening, many people are wondering, who did it? How did this all happen? Reuters is reporting, they're saying that Europe is investigating this as an attack on the pipelines. You've got the German minister, he says targeted attacks caused the leaks. The Russians say the leak threatened Europe's energy security. Bubbles are churning up on the sea surface. Operator says the damage to the Nord Stream 1 pipeline is completely unprecedented, and this exacerbates the crisis. On Tuesday, Germany, Denmark, and Sweden said the attacks had caused major leaks into the Baltic Sea. 2 Russian gas pipelines at the center of the energy standoff now jeopardized. Far from clear who might be behind the leaks, and we have a poll over at our watchingthewatchers.locals.com community. Reported on Monday that could have been some foul play. Nord Stream pipeline that Russia and European partners have spent billions of dollars building. German economy minister Robert Habeck told business leaders the leaks were due to targeted attacks on the infrastructure, and Berlin now knew for sure that they were not caused by natural occurrences or events or material fatigue. Some people were saying that, this could have been a boat anchor that was being dragged along the bottom of the ocean, or that, the materials just exploded, or something went wrong, or there was a shift in the tectonic plates that didn't, who knows? Sweden and Denmark's prime minister said the leaks were clearly caused by deliberate actions, with information suggesting sabotage. Poland's premier blamed sabotage, also without citing evidence. Russia had already slashed gas deliveries to Europe when the West imposed sanctions. They said sabotage was a possibility as well. Senior Ukrainian official called the incident a Russian attack to destabilize Europe. So the Ukrainians are saying they did it. They said that we see this as an act of sabotage. Sweden's prime minister held a news conference. Seismologists said that they had registered 2 powerful blasts on Monday in the vicinity of the leaks. So there were explosions, bombs went off, and even the seismologists could pick it up. The signals do not resemble signals from earthquakes. They do resemble signals typically recorded from blasts, the Geological Survey of Denmark said. Seismologists also said that it corresponds with a bigger explosion to more than 100 kilograms of dynamite, saying the blasts were in the water and not under the seabed. So they dropped some big old bombs on top of them. Pipelines have been flashpoints for quite some time. You can see this is where the expected explosions took place. 2 leaks reported on Nord Stream 1, and then on September 27th, or on September 26th, the day before, a big leak reported on Nord Stream 2. So taking out both of those pipelines that come from Russia down into Germany. Both. taken out. We saw some of the photos there, and there has been a lot of political tumult over these Nord Stream pipelines. You can see Wikipedia gave us some information on this. Said that these were supposed to be in service or supposed to be coming into service, but had not entered service yet. Completed back in September 2021, but not entered service yet. It was mired in political controversy with fears that Russia would use it for geopolitical advantage. So there were the two pipelines, and as Reuters showed us, one of them was built first, Nord Stream 1, obviously. That was the subject of a lot of political debate. Remember, the Russians were fueling much of Europe with their oil and their gas. But then after the invasion of Ukraine started, they started to taper back that flow. And they blamed a lot of this on mechanical problems. They said, hey, the Canadians have our engines and the tools we need, and we can't get this oil flowing unless you unleash the sanctions. And so now it looks like both of these pipelines are down. They were opening up Nord Stream 2 to double the capacity, sort of a parallel pipeline running in parallel with Nord Stream 1. But both of those now are out. And there was a lot of political debate over this. There were ruptures that took place. There were all sorts of opposition and political opposition from many people in Europe. Nord Stream 2 was facing opposition from Western politicians outside of Germany, like maybe in the United States. They saw it as an instrument of Russian influence. President of the European Council said that it's not in the EU's interest. Some claim that the project violates the EU's laws. A letter by lawmakers John McCain and Marco Rubio also criticized the project in July 2016. Germany and Austria criticized the United States Senate over new sanctions. And there was just been a whole, slew of problems with this pipeline for a long, long time. And there are very interesting clips roaming around the interwebs. President Joe Biden now, clips surfacing of him supporting the destruction of the Nord Stream pipeline, saying that if Russia even thinks about invading, it's going to be taken out.
Let me answer the first question first. If Russia invades, that means tanks or troops crossing the border.
What's going to happen?
Ukraine,
Tell us.
Again, then there will be no longer a Nord Stream 2. We will bring an end to it.
We will bring an end to it.
How will you do that exactly? Since the project and control of the project is within Germany's control.
We will. I promise you, we'll be able to do it.
What? I promise you, we will be able to do it. With that little smirk. Very interesting question from somebody in the media saying, what are you talking about, Joe? You don't control the Nord Stream 2 pipeline. That's between Russia and Germany. Who do you think you are? If the Germans want it built, they want it built. What are you going to do about it?
And control of the project is within Germany's control.
We will, I promise you, we'll be able to do it.
Very, very interesting statement from the president. Leading many to believe maybe the U.S. was behind the pipeline explosions. Victoria Nuland, another Biden administration acolyte, said in prior times that if there is an invasion by the Russians, Nord Stream 2 is gone.
With regard to Nord Stream 2, we continue to have very strong and clear conversations with our German allies. And I want to be clear with you today. If Russia invades Ukraine, one way or another, Nord Stream 2 will not move forward.
One way or another, Nord Stream 2 will not move forward. One way or another.
One way or another, Nord Stream 2 will not move forward.
Okay, so I guess is the one potential way to bomb the pipeline? I guess that's one potential outcome. Now, some people, it's not just the United States who are saying that the United States did this. In fact, this is the member of the European Parliament who is thanking the United States openly. He posted this on Twitter. posting a picture of the leak in the Baltic Sea saying, "Thank you, USA. Thank you for doing this." And this guy is a British MEP. I'm sorry, where is he from? Well, I don't know where he's from. He is a senior fellow at Harvard, though. Radek Sikorski, member of the European Parliament, and he said, "Thank you, United States." He also wrote, "By the way, there's no shortage of pipeline capacity from taking gas from Russia to Western Europe, including Germany. Nord Stream's only logic was for Putin to be able to blackmail or wage war on Eastern Europe with impunity." And he posted that right after he said thank you. So he's just, I think, very thankful that the United States took out a pipeline that he thinks gives Europe a weak advantage against Russia. Very interesting times we're living in. I guess was that a NATO operation to take out those pipelines? I don't know. But that is what happened there in Nord Stream, and it seems like this is just going to continue to heat up and escalate over there in Europe. We'll continue to follow, and thank you for liking this video. Thank you for supporting the work that we do with the subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.